Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Drew, and I want to welcome you back to Learn How to See Better. It's the only podcast out there that will improve your vision the longer you listen. And in today's episode, what I want to talk about is a very timely topic. We are in the season of summer. We're moving into the season of summer, and it's graduation all over the place. And so that's kind of what inspired the title of this episode. Call it Glad You Made It, #graduated. And part of why I was thinking about this is it's a timely moment in my own world. I've got family members graduating. I've got a son graduating kindergarten, so that's a milestone in his world. I got a niece graduating, 8th grade, going into high school. Got all sorts of relatives. We're all getting older. A lot of times at school when we think about graduating, but then you get all grown up, and you got to wonder sometimes, do we get to graduate anymore? Is the last time we graduate when we're 21, 22, 23 years old, 17 or 18? So, it's one of those things when you think about the journey of life and the path that we're on and where we're going and how we a lot of times have that innate drive to level up in our own world. And in that journey, we're going to find there's parts of the path where we move faster. It's like we're running on pavement and everything's smooth. And then there's going to be parts of the journey where you're trudging along. The rocky hill is hot and hard to climb. And it's a difficult, slower moving part of the journey where you feel mentally as though you're not making the progress that you'd like to, but you might still be moving forward, which is the important thing to make note of and always keep at the forefront of your mind. But there's those periods, those times, those parts of the journey where you don't feel like you're really getting there. And I think in those times we have to be disciplined enough to stick to the job to get to your destination like a postage stamp. And then there's also those instances where we have to acknowledge at a certain point we've covered some ground, we've covered some distance, we've possibly even leveled up. And we have to recognize the importance of having that moment to look at yourself and say, hey, I'm glad you made it. Because the fact of the matter is, whether you're on time a little late or a little early, if you're continuously moving towards that which you are seeking, or if you're continuously attracting that which you find desirable in your world, then I think you're going to be in a strong position to kind of actualize that promise, so to speak. If you're tuned in to the frequency of moving forward, then you're going to be making progress. And progress is what you're really trying to track. So that you can have that sense of achievement, right? Because every step forward that you make is progress, and you want to give yourself credit for that, because not every destination you will reach, but you will have several milestones that you just pass along the way on the journey to the destination. And that's where you want to say, hey, I'm glad you made it. To that last pinnacle back there, that was some great stuff you just did. Did you stop and give a little golf clap to recognize that accomplishment? It's important to celebrate our wins. We all have wins to celebrate. Sometimes it's easier to see the losses or even focus on the losses, but we've all got wins that we need to celebrate. So when you have those victories, when you get to those new points, those new heights of achievement, be sure to celebrate. Take a moment, take a time out to acknowledge some of the greatness that you're doing, some of the greatness that you're experiencing in your world, and be willing to say to yourself, hey, you, glad you made it. #graduate. So those were a couple of thoughts that I thought would be useful to share at a time like this, because everyone's going on to the next level, right? And it can be easy to lose sight of this moment here, this temporary moment of celebration, because, the next day comes, or the next week comes, or the next month comes, or the next semester comes, and we're back in the trenches doing it all over again, trying to level up. But now the stakes are higher, the difficulties increase, right? You're on the next level. It should be a challenge because you'll be forced to do something like grow to get past this level. But it makes it that much more enjoyable because you can expect it, because you just took the time to celebrate and appreciate what you just accomplished. Glad you made it. So now as we look forward and move on to the next level, we're bringing that positivity into the equation as we develop and enhance that forward progress and momentum. So that's really what I want to try and drive home. You take this moment, you celebrate it. Glad you made it. #graduated. Because the next level is most times no joke. It gets a lot harder, a lot realer, a lot dirtier, grimier, and frustrating, because you are wrestling with opportunities to improve yourself. And these opportunities are coming in the form of typically problems or challenges, or at least that's what they look like. They show up looking like challenges and obstacles, right? And those are the things you're gonna have to deal with. Once you can get past those, you level up. And it's within that struggle that you learn about yourself, you learn about your skills, you learn about your weaknesses, you learn about your attitude and your philosophy, right? They say that adversity is, what introduces someone into themselves, or something like that. I think that's how the quote goes. But you got to have a little bit of struggle to be able to appreciate the skills that you have to be able to stay, in the fight, so to speak, And then also, once again, when you suffer the setback of defeat and recognize it's just a setup for a comeback and your next victory, the victory is that much sweeter because you've had to go through the garbage dumps a little bit to get to this prize. So, again, celebrate your wins today. Glad you made it. #graduated. For everybody out there that's celebrating something right now, a big win in your life, I applaud you. So all the graduates out there, congratulations. Take this moment, live in it, revel in it, and then get excited for what's next, because the challenge is where the growth opportunity really lives. You say growth and comfort, they're not exactly roommates. They don't live together. They can't coexist in your world. So be prepared for that, but accept these moments of joy because you've done a lot, and we all need a little bit of that for our psyche to make us feel good and acknowledge the power of progress. Thanks for listening, and be sure to catch another episode of Learn How to See Better, because it's the only podcast out there that'll improve your vision the longer you listen. This is your host, Drew Davis. I'll catch you on the next episode.